We have our biggest matchup this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have been saying for weeks, this is our hardest game of the season. This is possibly the worst team that we can be playing week 14. The only thing going for us is that it's not a primetime game. The Minnesota Vikings go to Tampa Bay to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 14 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good thing it is a Sunday 12 o'clock game, 12 o'clock Central. That's the only thing we have going for us. Outside of that, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off of 2 losses. And this may sound like a good thing, but I have been saying the last thing you want is to play Tom Brady off of a loss, especially after losing two losses and having an entire bye week to rebuild, to rethink everything. These guys are completely healthy. We have suffered a lot of injuries. We're going to be looking at the injuries right now. Right now, both teams, this is a must-win game by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a must-win by the Minnesota Vikings. If the Minnesota Vikings win this week, we have a 95% chance at making the playoffs. Our chances go from about 20-some to 95. We need this win. And this is the hardest game for us to win. And I've been saying it. I don't see a very high scenario where the Vikings can win, but of course, any given Sunday, any team can beat any other team. And if the Vikings do somehow come up with a win, this will be huge. Both teams right now need this win. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right now, they're very likely going to make the playoffs, although they can still fall short and Arizona Cardinals can slip in and take that spot. Both the Vikings and the Cardinals are 6-6 right now. After the Vikings would play them, if they do somehow beat them this week, the Arizona Cardinals could have a very likely scenario of getting that playoff berth over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is very unlikely. I will say that right now. I hate doubting my Minnesota Vikings team, but this is very unlikely because of how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. You don't want to play Tom Brady off of a loss because he will always play his best. At least this is what we've seen the last 20 years he's played so far. And then also he has had an entire bye week. And he's playing the Vikings at home. This is hard. This is hard for this Minnesota Vikings team. We're going to be looking at this, but anyways, Vikings, Buccaneers, and Cardinals, they're all playing for that playoff berth spot. Of course, this is between the 6th and 7th seed. Vikings, Buccaneers, and Cardinals are all playing for that 6th or 7th seed to get into playoffs. Everyone wants that 5 seed, though. Right now, the LA Rams have that 5 seed, and they're most likely going to keep onto it because they do have 8 wins already. And I don't know how the Vikings or Buccaneers could really get there. I guess the Buccaneers could, but Vikings, if we get that 5 seed, that is huge. Because the reason why I say this is because whoever gets that 5 seed in the NFC gets to play the winner out the NFC East. You want that. You want that. I don't care who it is in the NFC East. I want to play them, because I do think we can beat them. In fact, I know we're better than all those teams, although we did lose to the Dallas Cowboys. So we lost to the Dallas Cowboys, so I can't get ahead of myself and say anything, but I want to play whoever comes out the NFC East. Right now, the New York Giants are winning in the East. They are possibly the worst, in my opinion, they are the worst team in the NFC East. And without Saquon Barkley, I'm saying without Saquon Barkley, they are the worst team in the NFC East. That just shows you how, okay, maybe Eagles. Eagles might be there too. They can't even decide who their quarterback is. They benched Carson Wentz now, but that Washington defense is great and that Cowboys offense is great. Of course, the offense without Dak is not that great. Anyways, whoever the winner out the NFC East is, I want to play them, so I want to get that 5 seed. It's very unlikely that the Vikings do because that would rely on the LA Rams falling short. Anyways, right now we're going to be looking at just making the playoffs. All we need is the Vikings to get that 6th or 7th seed, and that starts with winning this week. This is our most important matchup. If we lose this week, we can still make the playoffs. We can still make the playoffs. It's just not a very high scenario as it would be if we win. I don't think we'd be in the playoff picture even if we lose this week. So some injuries to note. You look at the Buccaneers right now. Chris Godwin did not practice on Wednesday with a finger injury. They will likely rush him back. He is Chris Godwin. He's possibly their best wide receiver. They have 2 great wide receivers. Their other one is Mike Evans, who is limited. He's also questionable to play. He was limited during practice on Wednesday with a hamstring injury. They also had Donovan Smith. He has an ankle injury. And then also Jason Pierre-Paul, who also was limited. I think all of them will play just because of how important this matchup is. I think it doesn't matter if they're limited during practice or did not practice. Actually, Chris Godwin might not. I forgot. Chris Godwin, I think he did go through some surgery thing, so he will probably not play. But still, Mike Evans, they still have Antonio Brown. They still have Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson even. They still have Antonio Brown. I don't think I mentioned him, but they still have him as well. So even without Chris Godwin, they have so many playmakers on offense to work with. And they also have Rojo and Leonard Fournette in the backfield. So it doesn't matter. Chris Godwin could be not playing, and they would still probably be very likely to win the game because of how many playmakers they have. Anyways, the Vikings, this is our biggest one. Eric Kendricks did not practice again with a calf injury on Wednesday. This sucks because we need Eric Kendricks. We need Eric Kendricks. He is our best player on defense, and our second best player on the Minnesota Vikings team after Dalvin Cook. He is our best player in defense and has really helped out this defense, and we need the defense to step up because there is two factors this game, and there's two factors for the Minnesota Vikings for the Minnesota Vikings season, for the rest of the Vikings season, and that is the Minnesota Vikings defense, and that starts with Eric Kendricks, and then Harrison Smith and them stepping up, and also Eric Wilson, okay, yeah, and then also Kirk Cousins. These are the two factors for the Viking seasons because we need them to step up against the Buccaneers. We need them to step up against the Saints and also the Bears. Although we don't need the defense to do a whole lot against the Bears because their offense sucks. But of course, against the Saints and Buccaneers, we need at least one of these to be a win. Anyways, Eric Kendricks did not practice, and this is a huge loss. Of course, he did miss last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. During warm-up, he pulled his calf and then was out for the game. Vikings defense looked fine, but of course, it's against the Jaguars offense. And I mean, they still have James Robinson, who did look great. But anyways, Kyle Rudolph also did not practice with a foot injury. Alexander Mattison did not practice with an illness. He will likely be back. I do think Mattison will be back. Irv Smith did not practice with a back injury. He has not played since week 11. I don't think he will play this week. Also, Jeff Gladney was limited with a calf injury. Please. Of course, we saw last week he did go out. He got injured partway through the game and sat for the rest. We need Gladney. And I did not think I would be saying this, because Gladney is not great. Of course, he's a rookie corner, but we need him. Because what I've seen from Harrison Hand, Holton Hill, they cut Holton Hill now, and Chris Boyd, what I've seen from these guys, I can't see any more of it. We need Jeff Gladney. He is possibly our best cornerback right now. Of course, with Mike, we haven't seen really anything from Mike Hughes, and then we have Cameron Dancer, but still, we need Jeff Gladney, so I hope he does play. In fact, I do really think he will play. DJ Wanham was also limited. Again, I have been very high on DJ Wanham. I said he is our fastest defensive end right now. Jalen Holmes and Afadio Denebo are so slow, I can't stand them. I don't know why they're even defensive ends. Just move them to the inside. We need DJ Wanham to be back. He's very athletic. Of course, he's not a star. He's not there yet. But with Andre Patterson, I do think he will be. Of course, we need DJ Wanham and his athletic ability. He did miss last week's game. I do think he will play this week, even though he was limited. So again, it all comes down to the Vikings defense and Kirk Cousins. This game, most importantly, because this is our biggest game of the season. And you look at this. Tom Brady has thrown 7 interceptions in the last 4 games. In games where Tom Brady hasn't thrown an interception, he is 5-1 in games where he has not thrown an interception. We need to get picks. We need to pick off Tom Brady, which is why I say we need Jeff Gladney. We need all the help we can get. We need Harrison Smith, Eric Wilson, Anthony Harris. We need some people to get interceptions against Tom Brady, because if we don't, I don't know how the Vikings will win this game. We need turnovers. We need help from this Vikings defense this game. And this is asking for a lot, because this Vikings defense has not been great. They have had great games. They have stepped up. We need that defense. We need the defense that can rack up sacks. We need turnovers against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, because that offense is so stacked, and we need some kind of luck, maybe a tipped pass, something that goes into the hands of one of our defenders, because that's how we win the game. If the Vikings don't get one turnover this game, we will not win. We won't. If the Vikings do not get one turnover, it won't happen. And then also, on top of that, we need to hold these. We need Eric Kendricks and Eric Wilson. We need Eric Kendricks and Eric Wilson, because here's the thing. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Antonio Brown are 3 of the best deep threats in the NFL. We need our corners to hold space between them. We need to force shorter passes. If you force shorter passes, which has really worked because you have Eric Kendricks and Eric Wilson, if you force shorter passes, there will be mistakes, and you can take advantage of those mistakes. We need to force short passes. We need that against this team. And then also they have 2 great players in the backfield where they have, of course, Rojo and Leonard Fournette, and we need Eric Kendricks to stop big plays against them. So again, it really depends on Eric Kendricks. Can he play? If there's even a possibility that Eric Kendricks can play this game, he is questionable right now. We need him to play, because he most likely will be the difference factor between winning and losing this game, and he's an inside linebacker. That's how bad our defense is and how much we need him to play this game. Anyways, Kirk, again, it all depends on Kirk. He doesn't need to show up. He has played great these last few weeks. He is 15-2, touchdown interception rate. Should be 15-1, but of course Adam Thielen did give an easy interception against I think it was the Chicago Bears. Thielen gave up an easy interception. But again, we are playing the best run-stopping defense in the NFL. We cannot feed Dalvin Cook this game. Dalvin Cook may be the best running back in the league. We cannot feed Dalvin Cook against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they run a 3-4 defense and have one of the best linebacker groups in the NFL. Of course, highlighted by Devin White and Shaquille Barrett, but then they also have Levante David and Jason Pierre-Paul. They have the best defensive line right there, or best linebacker group right there. And then, of course, we need these play action passes. We need bootlegs, and we need drop back passes. Kirk Cousins cannot be comfortable. He will not be comfortable inside the pocket. He needs to move around this game, and that's where it starts. We need Kirk Cousins to move around. We need him to drop back. We need play action passes. We need bootlegs because that's what works, and we have seen it so far. Because Shaquille Barrett and Donica and Sue, they will not make him comfortable inside the pocket. They will pressure him all the time. We need Kirk Cousins to have a big game. If Kirk Cousins does not have a big game and this Vikings defense does not get a turnover, it will be a blowout. We will get destroyed. Our Vikings defense cannot handle that many playmakers. They have so many playmakers on offense. I don't care if Chris Godwin is there or not. We need turnovers because they have way too many playmakers on offense for us to handle. Kirk needs to have a great game. This defense needs to get turnovers. This defense, even if they hold them, even if they score 30-some points against us, I think with turnovers, we can match that. We can get above them, even if they allow a lot of points. Anyways, give Justin Jefferson a lot of targets. Of course, this is not a game where you can feed Dalvin Cook. You can give Dalvin Cook over 20 yards or over 20 carries, yes, but he will average under 4 yards a carry because they will not allow big runs from Dalvin Cook. They won't. Dalvin Cook these last couple games has not looked as great. Did you know last week Dalvin Cook had 38 carries? How? I did not even see really anything from Dalvin Cook, and he had that many carries. Of course, he's still the best running back in the league, even though he has been shut down by a lot of teams. But really, when defenses shut down Dalvin Cook, that leaves an open space in the field for Kirk to throw. So if they're using all their guys to stop Dalvin Cook and to pressure Kirk, which is how you beat the Minnesota Vikings, we can give Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen a lot of targets. Give Justin Jefferson a career high more than 15 targets this game. And give Adam Thielen more. That's how the Vikings win. That's how the Vikings can win this game. That is the only scenario where the Vikings can win this game is if Kirk has an amazing day and the defense gets multiple turnovers. And when I say multiple, I mean more than 2. If the Vikings defense gets more than 2 turnovers this game and Kirk has an amazing day, that's the only scenario where the Vikings can win this game. Because I'm sorry, the Buccaneers are probably the worst team we can play right now, especially coming off of a bye, coming off of 2 losses. Not only that, but they are the best run-stopping defense in the NFL. And how do we win our games? Dalvin Cook. And how will they stop Dalvin Cook with all their linebackers? And that's going to leave an open spot for us to pass. We have 2 amazing wide receivers, 2 of the top 3 ranked wide receivers by PFF in the NFL. We can win this game. It's just very unlikely. I'm going to be honest. And for that reason, I hate to do it. I love to be optimistic and predict that my Vikings are going to win every week, but of course, I'm going to be a little bit realistic, and I don't think the Vikings can win this week. Even if we lose this week, we can make the playoffs as a 7th seed, but I just don't think the Vikings can win this week without Eric Hendricks, especially. I don't think the Vikings can win this week. And for that reason, I do think Justin Jefferson and Thielen will have a great game. I think Kirk will even account for possibly 4 touchdowns and the Vikings will lose. I think Kirk can really have a great game. I know Kirk can have a great game. I just don't know if this defense can have a great game. Kirk could come out there, throw an interception on the first play, and you'll know he'll have a bad day. But it's not prime time. That's going for him. Although Kirk doesn't even play bad on prime time. Vikings lose a lot of their games on prime time, but Kirk doesn't usually even play bad on prime time. Anyways, I know Kirk can have a good game against this Buccaneers defense. I just don't know if he will. Anyways, for that reason, Vikings 31, Buccaneers 41. I hate to doubt my team. But I think it's very likely that the Buccaneers will win, and it's a slim chance that the Vikings can win this game, and it will depend on 2 factors: defense getting turnovers and Kirk having an amazing day. And from what we've seen this season so far, there's a chance of that happening, just not a very high chance. Let me know what y'all think.